My name is Rachel Edwards, and I decided to center my senior project around veterinary medicine. Horses have always been a huge part of my life, so when I was thinking about it, I just figured I'd do something that I loved. This is a picture of me when I was 9 years old at my first horse show. And then with veterinary medicine, I've had a horse since I was about 11, and the amount of times we've been with the vet, either at his place or the vet's coming here for an emergency, it's been a lot. So I really enjoyed learning everything about veterinary medicine with love horses. So that's how I decided to pick my internship. This is Little Hawk Barn. This is where my internship took place over the summer. It's located in Crozier, Virginia. It's a small private it's a private practice run by Dr. Newton. He's the veterinarian, and his wife Jennifer is the secretary. It's mostly a breeding farm. He has 2 main barns with all the mares, which are female horses that can have the foals, which are the baby horses. He has a stallion barn on opposite sides property. So a lot of his work, especially over the summer, works with breeding horses. He has some workers at the barn that help with feeding and taking horses in from the pasture and taking care of them and stuff. And also, he almost always has interns helping him with his work, so I was one of his interns. And at first, I was really intimidated because other interns had graduated from college and were in veterinary school, and I felt really out of place because the highest class I had related to veterinary medicine was AP biology, which is great, but not compared to them. But what was great is they didn't look down on me, they really just helped to teach me, and they helped me feel like I wasn't out of place just because I didn't know as much as them. So it was really nice getting to work with them and learn about college as well as veterinary medicine. So this is Dr. Newton and his wife Jennifer. This is their dog Leland. Well, it used to be their dog. He was training him to be a service dog for canine companions for independence. So that was Dr. Newton. He graduated from Ohio State University and has been an equine veterinarian for 30 or 40 years. Been a long time. So because so many things about my internship were so hands-on, I wasn't able to take pictures of the things we were doing, but these are pictures of some of the foals at his farm. They're really cute. Some of the stuff we did, I helped the barn workers with feeding the horses, bringing them in, and stuff like that. I also helped Dr. Newton with just usually stuff he was doing with the breeding horses. We went on some calls, some for emergencies and some just checking on horses that were pregnant or horses that needed to be bred. So through the internship, I knew I really loved veterinary medicine, and I thought ever since I was a little kid that I wanted to be a vet. So I know when you're getting older and thinking about college, everyone always asks you what do you want to do for the rest of your life. It's kind of really stressful, but I always thought I wanted to be a vet. So one time at dinner, I was talking to somebody, and I mentioned that, and they said that they heard veterinarians have the highest suicide rate among a lot of professions, and that struck me as really shocking. And I think about it because you think of veterinarians, you think of cute little puppies, and not many bird and lab coats, but just and you think about just healing sick animals and working with animals, which is something I really love to do. Also, one aspect to be is the money. To think it's really good for a lot of money, but something we don't focus on is the toll it takes. So this is a sick puppy. A lot of times the cases you have aren't very happy. They aren't always healing animals. Sometimes you have to put them down. And among humans, they get seen that human euthanasia is wrong. It's illegal in most states except for a couple, including Oregon and Washington. So veterinarians, it's they have to put down animals almost on a daily basis, and they start to adopt this view that euthanasia is okay and it's a way to end something's misery. In a study, it said that 93% of veterinarians viewed human euthanasia as acceptable, which compared to the general population, that's incredible. So veterinarians, just from having to put animals down, that takes a huge toll on them. But besides that, just the amount of stress they have to go through vet school and stuff like that. They have easy access to drugs. A lot of times they're taken away from their family for calls they have to go on because emergencies can't wait and they have to leave important family events, and so then sometimes that doesn't go over well and just adds to their stress load. So this is a percentage I found that veterinarians were 4 times as likely than any other healthcare professional. No, any other veterinarians were 4 times more likely than the general public to commit suicide, and twice as likely as any other healthcare professional. Another study found that 1 in 6 veterinarians have considered suicide at one point. So that was not a cheerful thing. That was what I researched, like reasons and the methods of prevention. A huge thing about this is that not many people know about this. Not many people know that veterinarians struggle with these things. And so veterinarians, I guess, feel alone. In an interview with Dr. Newton, he said that I asked him if he thought veterinary school could have prepared him better for some of the work he has to do. And he said that it prepared him with all the knowledge, he knew everything he had to do, but it never touched on the emotional side. He said that was something he just had to learn by himself. And that's how a lot of vets feel, is that they're alone. It's just something they have to deal with alone. So when I started researching methods of prevention, I found that there are several things that they're working on with the American Veterinary Medical Association. There's the Young Vets Network, there's a Vets in Stress phone line, and all these things. Well, the phone line is, I have to say, you can call them. The other two, they have conventions and websites and guides and stuff like that to help new veterinarians. There's also the University of Tennessee has implemented some mandatory courses that help with well-being. They focus on nutrition, exercise, ethics, and mental health. So that's something that's really good. It's just, again, not many people know about this, so there aren't many programs in place. That's something that they're working toward. So the Bird Retirement Foundation, I learned about one day when also Dr. Newton had to go on call. There was a horse that was hurt at the James River Center of the Bird Retirement Foundation. And so what this is, there's 22 facilities and they have about 1,200 horses. They save horses that once they're done with their racing career, their owners basically don't have much use for them, so they're often neglected, abused, or slaughtered. So this foundation takes in those horses and it cares for them, provides them a home and then a chance for adoption. So I really liked that because I really like horses and I thought it was a great program. So when I thought about my community service, that's what I decided to help. Specifically, the James River chapter of the foundation works with the prison, and there's a program called Greener Pastures, and selected inmates that it's close to their time of being released, and they've had good behavior during their time. They get selected and they get put into this program. They learn a lot about the horses and first care and possible fields. Like some of them are assigned to learn how to be a farrier, which is the person who puts shoes on horses and trims their feet, which is really important. So they're just taught about horses. They're assigned each of them a few horses each to take care of. They feed them and they groom them and make sure they're doing okay, and they call Dr. Newton if something's wrong. So what was really awesome is when I was there, Dr. Newton was checking on the horse, and the men were showing me their horses and explaining to me why this horse is the best and why they love it so much, and the way their eyes would light up when they talked about the horses. It was really a great feeling because they don't really have much to look forward to, but taking care of these horses gives them a job and a purpose, and it gives them a possible career for once they're out, they have something they can work on. This is an example. This is Tamaya Holmes. He went through the program. He's now a really successful farrier. He was my horse's farrier for a while. This is Covert Action horse he's with, and that's Secretariat's grandson, and he's at the barn too, so that was kind of cool. So Tamaya, there's an article written about him in the Washington Post, and that just goes to show how good the program is and how successful it is. So when I decided to do my community service with this program, I wasn't really sure how. Since it works with the prison, I can't really just show up and help out because that would get complicated. I talked to Linda Boggs, who I met at Dr. Newton's one time, and she was there. She's part of the program, and we were throwing around some ideas of what I could do to raise money for the foundation. And we decided on making first treats so that I could sell and raise money for the foundation. So what I did, I talked to a couple different stores, and I finally talked to Dave Heflin, who's the manager of Changing Rays, which is a small shop in Ashton, Virginia. And he said he'd love to help me with this. I took my treats there and put a little sign up explaining my senior project and the foundation what the money would be going to. And so that's helping. It's not just raising money for the foundation, but it's also raising awareness, because the big thing is they don't have space, but it's really expensive for them to take care of horses, because horses are big animals. And so I thought the best way I could be with Lexi was just to help get awareness out and help people adopt those horses, so that this program can take in more horses, because they can take in 1,200 horses, but the amount of horses that are coming off the racetrack each year without a home is much greater than that. So also this past Saturday, there's an open barn at the foundation at James River, and I went there to sell the treats. It was really great getting to meet all the people, because everyone was so happy that I'd be helping. And the men, during the open barn, they each went around and told everybody about their horse, like short history, about their racing, and then their life now. And it was just really awesome again seeing the men and how much they love those horses. So while I was there, I raised, combined with some other stuff for selling, t-shirts and hats, almost $400 for the foundation. And I'm going to keep raising money, because when it comes to horses, that's not a lot. So my plan is to keep the treats in the stores and keep selling them and help to raise awareness for the foundation. So when it comes to the future, this was a picture Dr. Moonhound's wrote. That's him and his wife and their dogs. And there was a quote that said, "Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile." And so that really liked that, I guess. I knew I loved veterinary medicine. I love medicine and love animals, but I don't think a career in that field was right for me. But I did know that I wanted to help others. So in a way, my internship did help me, even though I decided not to do that. I'm going to be attending VCU in the fall, because they have a really great nursing program, and what I'd like to do is become a traveling nurse to developing countries where they really need help. A few months ago, I was researching something. It's called the Global Leadership Association. It's like the Peace Corps, but it's for teenagers. And one of the programs it was a week-long thing, and you go to a country in Africa, and you help create environmentally friendly clinics, basically, to help the healthcare and the environment there. So if I could somehow incorporate nursing and environmental science into my future, I'd really like that. My advice to you guys is to just find something you're passionate about and shape your senior project around that. Because if you do something that you think easier, looks cool, but you don't love it, it's not going to be fun at all. If you find something you're passionate about, that's like this really long project and more like a really awesome experience you get to do. And not just for your senior project, but also the rest of your life. You want to do something you're passionate about, doesn't matter as much about the money and the status, and hopefully you just want to do something that you love. So are there any questions?
Do you have any sense of the veterinarians program now are addressing the emotional needs of future?
Yes, and like I said, the University of Tennessee's College of Veterinary Medicine is implementing courses. I haven't heard anything of many others. That was very recent that they did that, so hopefully the other colleges will take note of that and begin to implement some courses.
That program we were talking about, Rachel, is that something through VCU, that traveling program, or is it just
the GLA thing, or the
to go to a developing country? You said it's like the Peace Corps for teenagers.
That's not through VCU.
Okay.
That's not so much a college thing, but VCU does have nursing without borders program, so you go for a while to another country.